Hello and welcome. I'm Rochelle, and I have with me today one of my dearest friends and colleague, Angelina DeWeese, founder of Pure Nourishment. And I'm so excited to have you learn about Angelina and her story of transformation. She is a remarkable woman. She's actually been a support person in my life, and I'm so thrilled to have her join me as a sugar mama coach in the upcoming Sugar Detox. So Angelina, welcome, and thank you for being here with me today.
Yay! So excited to be here. Thank you.
So I want to just go right into the juicy goodness.
Yes.
Tell us about your body love transformation story. Where were you? What was your turning point? And then, where are you now? So just anything that you want to share with us about that.
Well, I like to say I was addicted to cocaine, alcohol, and sugar, and now I am free.
Woohoo!
Yes. And, about 13 years ago, I found myself at the lowest place in my life and also the highest weight of my life. And I was at this place where, I was definitely having low self-esteem, acne, feeling like I lost my sparkle. And the thing that was getting me by was secretly doing lines on the weekend and the evening. No one knew. I was living like a double personality. So I had great grades, good job. My family had no idea. And the other thing that was helping me feel comfortable in my skin and deal with some of the emotional pain that I was in my life was sugar. And, I kind of the thing that will paint the picture of how life was for me was that I would literally sleep with oatmeal cream pies under my pillow at night. And, I was raised in a family of 5, and my mom, was a single parent at this time when I was older, and we didn't have much money. So she would go to Sam's, a big kind of wholesale store, and she would buy these giant boxes. Well, my sisters were going to eat them all, so I would stash them under my pillow. And I would wake up in the middle of the night just kind of feeling a little bit of guilt and remorse for how my life was going and feeling like I couldn't tell the truth and feeling like I was having all these moments of life where I knew I didn't want to do or be what I was, but I didn't know how to change it.
Yeah.
And I would wake up, open the oatmeal cream pie, and I would scrape out the cream and eat it. And then I would put the cookie back because I thought that the cookie was bad for me. So if I can now be doing, coaching, nutrition, and health, then I feel like there's hope for everyone. And so really that was the lowest part. That was the lowest low. I got into a really bad car accident in 1999, and I didn't think I was drunk or high or anything, and found out shortly after that I wasn't as aware of things as I thought I was. And so I tried to get out of my car, realized I couldn't move the car, tossed over my beer because I was young. I actually wasn't old enough to have beer. I don't know if I hurt anyone over the overpass, but definitely not my finest moment in life. And after that, my mom found out. She figured out what I was doing, how it was going, and I realized then I had a problem. Like, I was addicted to all these things to make me feel good. And so the turning point for me was that I found a spiritual mentor in school. It was actually a spirituality class called Spirituality and Journal Keeping. So I decided to take this class, and I journaled for a year. So I journaled in my journal, wrote all these things, and the teacher asked us after 6 months to review the journal and then write about your experience in third person. So I wrote about this person that wasn't me, right? So I wrote about this person. I found this person's binder, this journal, and I read it. And I was really disgusted with who I saw. And I saw that, I was living this double life, that I really had all these goals and dreams and desires, and I didn't know how to get them. And so it started me on this journey of really realizing that I needed more support because I didn't know how to be different. And so she was my support. I gathered, I asked her to gather some women that were dealing with the same thing so that we could support each other. So we did that. I stayed in that class for 4 years. I was actually already graduated, and I still continue to take the class because it was such a supportive community for me. And it helped me to shift my thoughts, to become more aware of myself, find my voice, learn to love myself. And all through that journey, it started to have me question my food. Like, what was I eating? How was this sugar thing playing a role? I went from cocaine to alcohol, and then the last one was sugar. So that was the last kind of thing that was there in my life. And it still gets me, you know, time to time. I'll happily share that I'm now 85 pounds lighter than I was.
Wow.
I have not done any single kind of drug. I don't drink that often. I have a life in which I feel empowered in every moment. I have choices. I know how to use my voice. I know how to ask for what I want. Completely different place. And I wouldn't have gotten there without all the support and mentors along the way. Mm-hmm. So, pretty amazing story. Sometimes I look back and I'm always like, wow, you know, that's pretty crazy journey. But now it, for me, is such a gift to be able to share to women that are in that same place of feeling like they're totally out of alignment and they really want to be in a place where they feel more aligned.
Yeah. And I really love that you shared that you had this awareness that what you were doing wasn't aligned, but you didn't have the awareness of how to change. And the thing that made the difference for you was having mentorship and then the community, right? The community of that class. Other women who were going through a similar experience. And that's what helped you move through. And I imagine at some point you got so inspired about the food piece that you became a health coach, and we both went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So maybe just a little bit about, you know, how you found that and how you flowered into the amazing health coach that you are now.
Yeah, well, the biggest turning point around food for me was I ended up going to Thailand in this class and studying Buddhism to kind of learn more about spirituality. And while I was there, I was noticing that, you know, all the women that were 60, 70, 80, and 90, they looked vibrant and strong. And for me, that was completely, like, I've never seen that before. So these women were coming up to me on the beach and asking me to give me a massage. And I'm thinking, like, you're my grandma's age. You should go home and go to bed. And so it sparked this, again, like being in a different community, sparked something I didn't know I wanted. It sparked me to realize that you could actually live a really healthy, vibrant life after age 50. And for me, I thought, you know, after age 50, you find a lot of different doctors. You definitely have a Rolodex of your prescription medications. You get older each year. And from there on, your life declines. And there's no other way that it could go. Yeah. And so what struck me the most was that all the foods they served me in Thailand, I had never seen or heard of. And so it really was the first biggest piece of my life that if I looked and compared my life in St. Louis, Missouri, which is where I currently live now, to my life in Thailand, the food I was eating was remarkably different. And so I kind of discovered this theory from then on, which is that the food we eat actually becomes us. And it becomes who we are, what we're capable of. And so I went on to get a formal education at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and haven't looked back since. It's been 8 years since I've been coaching women full time. It's been an amazing journey.
And I know you've coached hundreds of women from all over the globe.
Yes.
And they are so, I will say, because I am one of the women that you've supported, that we are all blessed to have your support. And just the possibility that you hold for women. There's something so powerful about, and I think, you know, as human beings, we love sort of like the rags to riches story or the rising up from the ashes. And I really feel that from your story. It's like, if a woman like Angelina who struggled, right, and had this desire inside of her to transform but didn't know how, and then just flowered into this woman that you see here today, like anything is possible for anyone.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful to have you share it today. And I know that there are women out there who are totally inspired and like hearing themselves and seeing themselves in you through your sharing. So I just want to acknowledge you for your extraordinary journey and everything that it took for you to get to where you are in this moment.
Thank you. I'm so excited to become a part of the Sugar Mama community in this way. And I definitely hope to be that inspiration, as you are, that really anything's possible, and that sugar is not necessarily the challenge, but maybe the gift to have us listen and understand even more of what our body's trying to tell us.
Yes. I love thinking about it as a doorway. It's like there's some message that's being delivered through that desire to use sugar or the craving. And so let's look underneath it. Like, let's sit with the uncomfortability for like a millisecond and let's like get underneath there and discover what's there that wants to be nurtured. Because that's really what's being called for.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the oatmeal cream pie under the pillow. It's like the security blanket, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I can just have this is like my one piece of, pleasure right here, and it's all mine, right? Mm-hmm. So I think we all have some form of oatmeal cream pie under our pillow.
Totally.
So I would love to know, because I'm just genuinely curious. Being a health coach for 8 years, you reached out to me because you wanted to do the sugar detox around New Year. So I would love to know, what had you join? What were some of the things that you noticed or benefits that you got from the sugar detox? And then, like, what inspired you to jump on board with me and be part of my team? Like, what excites you about sharing this with other women?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think, New Year's, I was, again, at another place. And I think the great thing for everyone when you're watching is to know that there is no perfection. There is no, like, ending the journey and it's done. I found myself, at the 1.5-year-old. So I'm now a new mom. My son's almost 2. He's super
adorable.
Cute. Super cute. And, like, really feeling overwhelmed and exhausted from time to time, and not having the same sources of downtime that I used to have. Things just sugar found its way back in my life, and I found myself, pretty regularly, without any remorse at all, like, this is my treat for having a hard day, having some cookies, chocolate, a glass of wine, maybe a gin and tonic. And it just became this thing where I would say probably the first year I was doing that, it was like, oh, it's okay. I'm eating really great the rest of the time. Mm-hmm. This is really not a big deal. And then I started to notice that I was feeling more foggy during the day. I was having trouble keeping my positive thoughts. So I was kind of, starting to go like, oh, I probably can't do that. Or I don't know about that. That seems really hard. I was starting to be more short with my husband and be more accusatory, like blaming him for everything. And I just noticed that my system was really starting to shift. And I was saying, oh, I'm a new mom. It's okay. These things happen, right? And while, yes, there are more circumstances to deal with, there was just a point in which I realized, you know what? I need to clean my system. I want to press the restart button, and I really want to start listening to what I need rather than coding the problem with more of what I like and love, but really wasn't setting me up the next day to feel great. So I would wake up later, not feeling as good. Mm-hmm. So I reached out to you because I had seen the sugar detox going on so much, but I had never done it. And it was awesome. I mean, the first thing I realized was, number one, you are super compassionate, not judgmental, really holding a true space of letting people practice. And that's been my life's work of, like, really what's most important to me is that no woman ever feel blame, shame, or guilt for her decisions. Yeah. And that she knows that how to do it is all that's in between her getting the life she wants. And that how part requires lots of practice and a safe place to practice. And so what your detox provided was just that. It was like a safe place to practice, to learn, to explore, to meet other women, to be inspired, to have accountability. It was like, for me, I create those communities for other people, right? But to have a space where I could have that And it's so funny. I went through all the emotions just like I did before. I was resistant. I didn't want to read the emails. I was like, oh God, it's coming. Let me have my last glass of wine, right? Like, I just remember my husband was asking me, I was like, I'm not excited, like I'm going to do this thing. I got to do it. You better support me. It was like, all of the resistance to changing was there, even for me. And I know that that's going to happen. As a coach, I've kind of become familiar with that pattern of things. Yeah. So the first week is really the gentle ramp up week. And so that week I was really gentle with myself, making different choices, taking a little less of the fruits out of my smoothie, maybe, not having all of the fruit juice during the day, little things that really started to already make me feel better. I started implementing a lot of the daily rituals, like my glass of lemon water in the morning.
Yay!
And, being a health coach, I used to live like that, but I forgot and I stopped doing it. And it reminded me again that that's really important to me. And it reminded me again how amazing it makes me feel. And then during the detox, I will tell you, I had a couple days that were really hard. I had a lot of anger, and nights where all I wanted to do was have chocolate. And I realized that, number one, I wasn't giving myself enough downtime. So I was working 40 hours a week and then becoming a full-time mom after that. So I wasn't making that important. And I was also unknowingly upset about my own circumstances. Like, meaning that I thought, it's kind of like, we always choose things, but sometimes we forget we chose it.
Right.
Like, so I forgot it was my choice to have a child. And that I love him totally so much. And that if I need to ask for something for myself, I can. I forgot. And so it really reminded me I had to work through that emotion of like, oh yeah, okay. I could ask my husband to help tonight if I need time off. And I sort of got into this role of doing it all and never asking anyone for help and then eating my way out of the overwhelm.
Yeah.
Right? So that was, for me, just a really incredible experience. Then also seeing the women on the forum, feeling like even though I didn't necessarily talk to everyone every day, I just knew there was this huge group of women also dealing with and doing the same exact thing as me, which made it feel so comforting. It was like, I have a team. I'm not alone. All these people that I don't know and I may never meet are also struggling. And that makes me belong, even though I feel like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, right? So that was it. And I immediately reached out and was like, I love this program. I don't know what you're doing with it, but I want more and more and more people to find out about it. And I have a huge community of people that I think would love it. And it just felt like the next step of joining the team and starting to be someone who supports other people in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really beautiful, Angelina. I love what you shared, and I know so many women can relate to either or, like working full-time and then needing reward, or being full-time mom and like really needing downtime or relaxation time or me time. And for you, it was both, right? So having that ritual in the evening to have you like feel that reward and feel that relaxation. And then when that got taken away, right? Because in the sugar detox, it's all about loving boundaries. It's not about good, bad, right? So it's just like having a loving boundary with that one behavior. And then underneath that, you get to look and see, wow, what's there is like, I'm resenting this part of my life, or I'm angry about this. And then getting in touch with that emotion, you get to then respond to that instead of continuing to like push it down with the wine or the chocolate or whatever. So that was really beautifully shared. I imagine so many of my clients, I know they can all relate to that.
And one other thing I'll say is that it's not actually as hard as you might think it is. Like sometimes as I'm having this conversation, I'm thinking, wow, some women might think this is really hard. Like, I don't want to necessarily give up sugar because it is the thing. I already know it is the thing that helps me to not have to deal with these things. But I think the thing that really, when we get beyond the point, it's that it's actually harder not dealing with them. It's harder having every night feel like guilt and shame and not speaking up in our relationships and in our families and asking for what we need.
Yeah.
It's harder in that place and just as miserable as it is when you're actually moving through the emotions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So just in case someone is watching and they feel really scared, like, I don't want to, you know, your body only allows you to change and your mind only allows you to change for what you're ready for. So whatever your next, you know, unveiling is, it's there, you know. Mine's been a 15-year journey. So it certainly isn't that all the things I've shared have happened in the detox. It's a long lineage of different changes and transformations.
Yeah, and I think it's really great to touch upon what you just shared, because there are women who've done the sugar detox since I started it like 6 years ago, and they keep coming back for more. And now, you know, we have this lifetime membership, and you know, what would be the point of coming back and doing it again? Like, the information isn't new, you know, like we just show up and we do the same experiment, but what your body and your mind and your emotions are ready for, it's like it just goes up a notch every time. New awareness is illuminated, and then new habits form and stick. And then old habits go away, and sometimes they come back, and then sometimes they go away, right? So it's like we're all in a different place each time we come to it. So
sure.
So I just wanted to say that, because yes, it's a journey, and we are going to be eating for the rest of our lives, right? Unless we become like enlightened and we, you know, live on breath, like the breatharians in the desert, which I'm not planning on that anytime soon. But, you know, if we're going to be eating for the rest of our lives, like there's going to be new challenges that life brings, and our bodies are going to be changing, and so our needs are going to be different. So I think, you know, just
totally,
you know, having that image of there's no arriving, there's no getting there, the journey continues. And so this is just one way that someone can be supported along on their journey.
Yeah, I think it was really brilliant and so generous of you to create a program that you pay for once and that you get to be a part of forever. It's like, it's awesome. There aren't many programs like that. You know, I mean, we're in the business world. It is so generous of you, and that's another reason why I really want to be a part of the program, because I can see like there's so much integrity behind it, there's so much love behind it, there's such a big commitment to helping women make life easier. So it's really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want to just share that Lucas has been saying for years, like, I think you and Angelina should partner on something. And I've been like, yeah, that would be cool. And, you know, just to watch sort of like how our relationship has progressed. And like now here we are, and we're partnering in the sugar detox. And it's sort of like this dream come true for me. So I just want to thank you and let you know that I love you so much. And I have such deep, deep respect for you as a human being and as a woman and as a coach. And I'm just incredibly honored to have you join me as a fellow sugar mama.
Oh my gosh, likewise. I really am so excited for this journey. It's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. Yes. Oh, and by the way, when you say sugar mama, you have to shimmy.
Oh.
Sugar mama.
Sugar mama.
Yeah.
I do it right? Did I do it right?
Yes, your shimmy is very good. I approve.
Okay, good.
So Angelina, thank you for this time together today. And I know that so many women are going to be inspired by everything that you shared. So thank you for your generosity in sharing yourself. And I just want to welcome you and thank you again.
Thank you. And to all of you who have made it this far watching, I love you too. And I cannot wait to meet you in the Sugar Mama Detox.
Woohoo! All right. Love you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.